Have you ever experienced something that made your skin crawl? Something you just couldn't explain? Well, let me tell you about what happened to me last summer, a story I've barely shared with anyone because honestly, I'm still trying to make sense of it myself. I had just moved into this charming old Victorian house in New England. You know the type: creaky floorboards, vintage wallpaper, and those tall windows that seem to watch you. The real estate agent mentioned it was built in the 1800s, but conveniently left out some of its more interesting history. The first few weeks were perfectly normal. Sure, there were the usual old house noises, the pipes groaning, the wood settling, but then things started getting weird. It began with my keys. I'd leave them on the kitchen counter, only to find them neatly placed on the coffee table in the morning. I blamed it on fatigue, convincing myself I must have moved them and forgotten. But then the music started, soft piano notes floating through the house at 3 a.m. Here's the thing, I don't own a piano. The previous owner had one, but it was removed years ago. I'd wake up to these gentle melodies, and by the time I got downstairs, they'd fade away like morning mist. The strangest incident happened during a thunderstorm. The power went out, and I was fumbling around for candles when I heard footsteps upstairs, clear as day, walking from one end of the hallway to the other. My dog, usually the first to bark at any noise, just sat there, staring up at the ceiling, tail wagging slightly as if greeting an old friend. I finally worked up the courage to research the house's history at the local library. Turns out, in the 1920s, a young pianist named Elizabeth lived here. She taught music lessons to neighborhood children until she passed away, rather mysteriously, one stormy night. The article mentioned how the children would often say they could still hear her playing after she was gone. You know what's really curious? Since learning about Elizabeth, the piano music hasn't stopped, but it doesn't frighten me anymore. Sometimes on quiet nights I sit in the living room and listen. The melodies are always different, always beautiful. It's like having my own private concert, courtesy of a pianist who just couldn't bear to leave her beloved home. I've come to believe that not all ghost stories need to be scary. Sometimes they're just about souls who loved something so much in life that they found a way to keep doing it, even after they're gone. Elizabeth's music has become part of my home now, as much as the creaky floorboards and vintage wallpaper. And honestly, I wouldn't have it any other way.